Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Better Call Saul, Season 4, Episode 7. It's called Something Stupid. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. We started this one.
I didn't know the title for this, and it's perfect.
Okay.
It's a perfect title for the end of the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. But this one starts, though, with the split screen. So I was worried that there was a glitch, because it starts off with just half the screen black, and I thought either this is about to be a split screen thing and the other thing's not popped in yet, or something funky's happening. And it turned out to be a split screen thing, and and the beautiful thing of this split screen, because the whole point here is that it's showing how Jimmy and Kim are kind of, drifting apart over time. And there's a bit of a time jump in this episode. We've clearly jumped considerable time. Her cast is off. It's only like a month, I think Jimmy said, until he's
yeah. So this opening sequence lasts 9 months, because we see him getting his thing checked. He
has his baby at the end.
Yeah, we get the but when he goes to do his his
that was a quality
card.
joke that you just brushed over. All right,
I know, because I was trying to find this word, parole card, for lack of a better word.
Parole card, yes.
Yeah, we see dates finally. So we're just into what 2000. I think we're in 2004 now.
By the end.
Aren't we?
Maybe by the end, but the one I noticed when it popped up was 2003. I wasn't really caring enough to pay attention to the dates on the.
Well, we went through a few, because I caught October and then January.
Yeah, that sounds right. But what I thought was genius about this, all in showing that time had passed and showing that they're drifting away, is it was very gradual. And the first time it's split screen, they're brushing their teeth together, right? And it's the same on both sides. And then halfway through,
no, it's not. And this is what annoyed. This is the one problem I have with this sequence. It is not the same on both sides. Because I was under the impression that it's the same day at first, right? Because and the rest of
I was never under that impression. Why are you complaining about this?
No. Because this bothered me, because the way the first part of this montage plays out, it's like, okay, this is a day. This is how their days are separate, but kind of how they play out at the start.
Yeah, two typical days that are basically the same.
Well, see, that's the thing. I didn't get it. It felt like it was supposed to be the same day to me.
No, never occurred to me.
Okay, we start on one day and watch what they do separately. That's felt like the point to me, but it bothered me that they were clearly doing it as two separate days, because of just she was wearing different shirts. I'm like, no, just do it the other way. I have like this one.
I have zero problem with it. This is such a Connor complaint.
I know, but it bothered the hell out of me.
It's just convenient your name alliterates with the word complaint, because it's perfect.
It is, yeah.
So, your stupid criticism aside of it being 2 different days at the opening split screen bit, what was great about this is that it starts off and it's showing that the 2 days are the same, right? It's 2 different days, but they're the same. They're both together, they're both brushing their teeth at the same time, they're in sync, he's, putting the toothpaste on her brush because she's only got the one arm, and so on and so on. Halfway through, they're doing it separately because they're at different hours, right? She's getting up earlier for work, she's getting up later, whatever. But it was still in sync. That's what was beautiful of it, is that despite the fact that they were now clearly on their own, they were still in sync with each other. But by the end of the montage, they weren't even in sync anymore. Like, one was sleeping when the other one was brushing their teeth. Which is funny, because obviously that was always what was already happening anyway, because otherwise they'd be in the bathroom at the same time. But the stylistic point still works, because it's like, no, they were still in sync and they were still in place with each other, despite the fact that they're having to separate due to just what their days were. But now we get to the end of the montage and they're just not even remotely in sync. And obviously there's a lot of them eating dinner. It got really fancy at a couple of points where it was basically just the one shot just split in 2, because they were in the same room and they were eating dinner on either side.
They just put a line in the middle.
Yeah.
But there was the great moment where Jimmy reaches over through the divide, and but it's this great, just because it feels like separate. They feel so separate, at that point, and then it's just like a reminder that no, they're still in the same room. They're there together.
Did it? I don't know if it did. It should have if it didn't. It's not a big deal if it didn't. But did he go over the line or behind the line?
I feel behind the line.
Yeah, I think it was, because that's the easy thing to do, just put the line in the front. But I'm just wondering if it would have even just a little bit better if he's went over the line, like
It would have been more appropriate for Jimmy.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a small thing. But
No, I'm fairly sure from memory it was behind the line.
Yeah. And all the while you've got this the song playing, very upbeat, which
Yeah.
kind
Oh
of
God, what was the song now? Oh, it's gonna bother me.
it's the one that's I can't remember, I don't know the name of the song, but it's I went and said something stupid like I love you. That's the way the chorus
Oh
ends.
yeah.
Um, but I was like, so okay, so this is making a very clear point at the start of this episode. They're drifting apart. She's got a nice fancy new office. She's getting little awards to put up. She's really settling into the new job at the new law firm, of which I can never remember the name of, even though we were staring at the sign for like 10 minutes at one point.
Strickland, and something.
Yeah, I don't know, I can't remember. But she's there and it's all going well. And a lot of this episode is kind of showing how separate they are. And he's still doing his phone tricks, and we see him. He's actually got the vacated lot, the office. He's showing Mo the office, and it's actually all POV. We're in Mo's POV. We don't know it's him till the end of or towards the end of the scene, and Jimmy's just kind of talking to the camera. And I was like, is he trying to sell us in Kim? Because I started to feel really awkward, like she's going to turn this down. She wants no part of this. She's living the high life. She's off being Holly de Janeiro in
It's the
big
bit
law
where
firm.
he talks about the second office for the partner, and he measures it out, and it's like 6. It's 5.5. Let's be honest.
Which of course comes back later when he's actually in her real office and he measures it with his feet again, and it's like 10. And he's like, shit.
Yeah.
He's like, shit. This is like twice the size of the office I can give her.
And this is the thing, because obviously he never offers it to Kim, the other office.
No.
But even if we thought, oh, maybe that is in his head, right? But that moment where he measures it and he goes, shit, that's when he was thinking about it.
That was the plan.
Like, I can't compete.
That was always the plan. And that seems wonderful because he comes to this, this party at the office, right? And he's nervous, and he's like the nervous wife coming to the office party. He's like, oh, should I not talk to certain people? And so, no, just have fun, it'll be fine. And I got this is the great thing this show does is I got immediate social anxiety because I just like Jimmy's going to do something stupid. He's going to say something. He's going to, and sure enough, he gets drunk, and he basically, and everyone around him certainly understands what he's doing by the time he's finished, which is he's basically making fun of them for being essentially successful and rich. He's all hoity-toity because they're talking about going on a break, the work retreat, and they're like, oh, we'll go skiing, and it seems like they go somewhere fairly local, just they can get there easily. Yeah. And he starts off, if he recommends a place, he's like, oh, it's a little bit further, but just watch a movie or something on the bus, and like
and they seem to go for it.
Yeah, they're kind of
okay. That seems worth looking into.
Yeah, but then he won't stop, and he keeps recommending further and further places, and says, "Oh, you can go on a plane and a private jet." Yeah. Oh, coming into landing, all these hoity-toity lawyers landing for their company retreat, and he feels belittled. He feels like he's a failure. He feels like he's out of place, and this is kind of always where he was going to end up. But he feels lesser now because of Kim's success, and obviously the alcohol's kind of what's let him bring this out, but it felt very true but wonderfully awkward at the same time. I was so tense in a really uncomfortable way during this, and Kim like sort of patting him on the shoulder every so often and just sort of putting on the fake smile, trying to
be like, come on, we're done here.
Yeah, try to cover it up, and it's just not working very well, which is beautiful because
so bad for Kim.
As do I. I feel really bad, especially since I think you could read, because we'll find out next week probably exactly what she means by the end of the episode. But my worry, I have a real worry about what she means at the end of the episode. So let's get into what this builds up to. So Jimmy's selling his phones. He's got like a regular gig. He's using business cards saying Saul. He's using the alias for his criminal activity. So that's really exciting. But he's selling phones with Mo, and this cop comes up. Sorry?
Huell, isn't it?
Huell. Who's Mo? Who did I keep calling Mo?
I don't know.
Why did I think he was Mo?
I don't know. They definitely said Huell a few times in this episode.
Yeah, well, he's in Breaking Bad, so I mean, for some reason I remembered it was Mo. Who am I thinking of? There's a Mo somewhere.
I mean, I'm sure there is.
There's a goddamn Mo somewhere. Maybe it just reminds me of someone who's someone else who's called Mo. I don't know.
He just looks like a Mo.
He looks like a Mo. What do you want from me? Huell, yes. He's selling phones with Huell, and this guy comes up, and turns out to be a cop. Although, we don't actually see that he's got a badge yet. It's not until he gets knocked down that we actually confirm that he actually is a cop. Because I thought Saul was just being...
Oh, did you? I just took it at face value.
Nah,
This one,
I
right?
thought Saul was just kind of making it as like, oh, the way this guy's speaking to me, I'm just going to assume he's an arc. Like, just you know.
No, no. For me, it was him going. No, he knows the technicalities of what he can get away with here. He knows that he's not actually doing anything wrong. Like he points out, he's got permits. You know, he's got everything that he
Does
needs
he have a permit?
to sell things. Probably, yeah.
Like here, out the back of a car?
He might well have done. I don't see any reason why he seems so confident in what he's
Sure,
saying that
sure.
he can hold up.
And given that he is
if this guy
actually
tries to arrest him,
And given that he's
yeah.
a lawyer and he knows that this will come up, then yeah, he probably does know what he's doing here in terms of.
Yeah, I think he feels so confident in what he's doing here
Yeah, no, that's fair.
that I do believe him.
But so Mo, sorry, I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna keep doing that. So Huell comes round. They've got sandwiches, and I love how they set this up earlier. That they get lunch together. Like, you know, one of them will go get food and come back. So he's coming around the car. He's got his headphones on, and he sees them arguing with a cop. Not knowing it's a cop,
Pretty heated.
because again, he's in plain clothes. You can't tell it's a cop. Again, I didn't know for sure it was a cop until I saw his badge. And he runs up behind him and just smacks him over the head with the sandwiches.
I love how you see Jimmy from behind me like, no, he's a cop, don't do it.
But he just goes for it. Huell's not the brightest bulb in the
Never has been though, has he?
yeah, he's just he's never has been. And the poor sod's sitting in the back of the police car, and Jimmy's trying to like talk it out with the cop, and the cop's just like, hey, I asked you to like move and sell your phone somewhere else so it wasn't drug dealers that were getting them, and you told me to piss off, so no.
This scene did have me, laughing quite a bit because he's like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. He's like, no, I know this guy. I arrested him 3 years ago, and you see Jimmy go, oh shit. He's
Yeah, because he knows what the
3 years is a long time. A man can change a
Yeah.
lot. Look, you don't know that that's the same guy.
Because-
He just cut to Huell. He's like, yeah, okay, that's the same guy.
Yeah, every time like someone says something like that, because he's a lawyer, because he understands the law, he knows what every single piece of what every detail means in terms of the law case. In terms of, okay, shit, that puts him in really bad trouble because now he's a repeat offender, and now he can sell it as this was revenge, this was a vindictive choice. He understands what the court is going to say now, what the prosecution is going to roll with based on what he's just said, and that's kind of the beauty of this, is you understand why he's smart enough to get what he just said. But so he goes to Kim, and I felt so bad for Kim the moment she just sort of turns to him and says, "You've been selling burner phones out of your car?" Like. And she just stares at him, and he's like, "Oh, let's just gloss past that. Let's talk about Huell." And she just sort of stares for the next while. Like, he's been doing this for months. He's been doing this for 9 freaking months. She's not known a damn thing, and it's so sleazy, and it's so,
And that's
Jimmy.
it. Her face is like, what have you been doing? She's so disappointed in him.
Yeah, she's disappointed. I'd go as far as say she's distraught, right? And
Yeah.
she's like, "Look, I'll look into it. I'll go speak to him." And she goes,
But do you know what? No, the bit that really gets me about this scene is that I'd say she's disappointed that he was selling the phones and doing that. When she gets distraught is when he offers his suggestion of being the skeevy lawyer.
"That's true, not yet." It's when he sits down and he says, "Hey, I've got this plan. We'll get him liquored up, and we'll make him blow up in front of the judge, and we'll discredit him." And the look of horror on her face, the look of, wait, you're still want to pull this shit? Like, seriously, after you got disbarred for a year, and like you're still going to try and pull shit like
You're
this?
you're not even allowed back yet, and you're already pulling these schemes.
You can tell she was hoping that he'd change because he went through this, because he got into trouble, because he was taken away for a year. She was hoping that he was going to change, at least enough not to pull highly illegal tactics in the court, right? Yeah. And you can see that she's distraught by that. But she's like, I'll go talk to him, let me handle it. And of course, there's that great moment when he's leaving, and she asks her assistant to shut the door behind her. And
it's a great callback to what, 2 or 3 episodes ago?
In the house with the door kind of just sort of drifting shut.
But it was a little bit ajar still,
yeah.
And this time it's like, nope, that's shut.
But she goes down, she talks to the prosecution, and she's trying to convince her, hey, like all these prior guys who you got off, like they didn't get them like as much. They got 5 months here, 5 months there. She's like, yeah, didn't have priors, and she's arguing her way, but she's not like really succeeding. And obviously, there's the big moment here emotionally is towards the end of the scene, where the prosecution says, hey, the only witness we've got here is a scummy, disbarred lawyer who sells phones in the street. And, like, you can... Again, I felt horrible for Kim, because she's right. The woman's right.
She is, but at the same time, she's like, no, you don't talk about him like that.
Kind of, you get a sense of that, but you get her embarrassment, the way she gets out there, the way she throws the door open. She is hurt by that statement, and it's and I think it's a double-sided thing. I think in the one hand, there's an element of truth there, and she knows it's true, and that hurts. And then on the other hand, there's this like shame because of it, and but then there's also this fight to want to like protect him and defend him, and that's why the ending hurts me because
I know.
Because she's walking off, she's like, look, tell him he can't run, and Saul's like, sure, I'll say that, sure, you do your thing, I'll do it my way, and she's like, what does that mean? Right?
And he's like, it's fine, just do your thing. And she knows.
Right? And then she turns around and says, hey, wait, I think I've got another idea. And that's where we end it. And
no. And she doesn't turn around and just say that, though. That's it, because she drives off.
She phones him, yeah, sure, yeah.
But I think that adds more weight to it. She's thinking about it on the way over. And then, goes into the shop. She's throwing all this stuff in the trolley. All these pens, like coloured pens.
Yeah, stationery. Basically for her law taking notes and things, I guess.
There's a lot. She's like every kind
of pen. A lot.
She's great.
I'm not entirely sure the purpose of this amount of stationery.
No, that's the thing. This stationery, it's not for law-taking purposes. Whatever this is to do with her skeevy better plan.
It probably is. There's probably more of an intent. But the main point is that she calls him and she says, hey, I've got another idea. Now, it might not be skeevy. We don't know that for a fact at this point. But my heart sinks because I feel like Kim's about to ruin her career because she's going to try and pull something to help Saul.
No, that's exactly the way she's going around grabbing all this stuff. And it's not just I've got another idea. It's I've got a better idea, and better to Saul means skeevy, right?
It does.
It's not legitimate, and I'm like,
but part of you hopes, even though you know it's probably not going to be the case. Part of you hopes that when she says better, she's thought of a loophole. She's thought of a way around it that doesn't betray who she is. But the concern you have, the sinking feeling in your stomach when she says that, is that she's about to do something. Even though all throughout this episode, because this is the thing, Saul tries to reconnect with her and it's not really working, and all throughout this episode she keeps getting evidence that Saul's still being skeevy. He's selling the phones. He has this ridiculous idea about getting the cop drunk to discredit him. He has all these ideas. He just ignores her when she's like, hey, call him and tell him that he has to not run. Like, he has to stick around and I'll help him the best I can, but he's going to have to do time. And he still doesn't listen. And despite all that, it sounds like she's going to betray everything she is and everything she's built to help him. And I'm worried because I feel like this might end in disaster for her.
I know. This episode is so effective. This moment especially is so effective that the episode ends and I literally just covered her face. I was like, no, Kim, what are you doing? I'm there, sitting there doing that.
Because this is the sad part of this, is that obviously we've been upset for a long time that we knew this couldn't end well for the pair of them. But I think at a certain point, recently especially, I've been kind of like, well, at least Kim might make it out okay on her own. She might make it away and be okay.
Yeah, I think we always expected her to be okay professionally.
Yes.
Right? And even with that tease a couple of episodes ago, where it's set in the at the end of Breaking Bad, where Saul's like, hey, go get another lawyer, and we said, could it be Kim? We discredited that at the time, of course, because we were like, okay, it's probably Howard, but the fact that it still crossed our minds at all meant that we thought that she was still safe professionally.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Everything she cares about, everything we know about her, she cares about law. She actively took the job she has right now so she can go around helping, the little guys, right? She has a framed photo on her wall of a note, a thank you note that someone wrote her for helping them in court. She loves this. This is her life. This is everything she strives for. And Saul is about to take it away. He's about to ruin it.
It is. And I think that's why she's so, even this case here, she is quite passionate about it. She's willing to go this far because as much as she's like, yeah, Huell's probably pretty sketchy, and she knows what Jimmy's been up to, she knows that they're being unfair with the treatment. When she was arguing with the judge, being like, hey, this is way too much for what this is. She believed everything she was saying. Yeah,
especially when she was saying about the all these other examples. Oh, this cop had a broken nose. This guy had a concussion. This one get hit with a sandwich. He's fine. There was no
Yeah,
injury.
yeah, and he didn't know he was a cop, whereas all the others, it sounds like they actively targeted the
Yeah,
cop.
yeah.
And so she genuinely believes that no, I can't let this guy do 18 months or whatever it is, 18 months plus a year for this. That's not fair. She does believe that, which is why she's willing to go that extra skeevy route, maybe.
I think that's why she wants to help at all. I don't think that's the motivation for the outright skeeviness. I think that is.
No, I don't think it's the entire motivation, but I think she has to legitimately still feel that for the case for her to even consider it.
Oh sure, but that's why she wants to take his case in the first place. Why she wants to go skeevy is partly to help Saul, and partly, and this is a slightly different thing, is the influence of Saul. Because if you go back to like season 2, do you remember when he taught her how to trick people, how to con people? He has actively influenced her over time, and she's always kind of fought it, and she's kind of like got back to, because she is a reasonable, decent person who doesn't do those things typically, but she did do it before. It's kind of the seeds in there, and I think that's kind of coming back to.
I'm just
back to blossom.
I'm at a point now where I'm terrified this season ends with Saul getting his license back and Kim being disbarred.
Oh god, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it might go that far. But I feel like it's something that happened in season 3 of Mr. Robot. There's a scene in the season. I won't obviously spoil it for anyone who's not watched Mr. Robot yet, and you want to go watch. You should go watch Mr. Robot. It's fantastic.
You should.
But
yeah.
There's a scene in the season finale of Mr. Robot where someone has basically ruined someone else's life, and they say they hate them because you've taken away everything I care about, because they've ruined them professionally. And I am now terrified of that scene where Kim says to Saul, "You ruined my life. You actively ruined my entire life because of your influence, because of you being here."
I'm terrified of that as well, but I don't know if that scene will be this season.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think it'll be this season.
I don't think she'll realize straight away that it was he did this.
I don't necessarily think it'll be this season, but that scene, I am like 90% confident is going to happen by the end of the show.
God, I hate this show. I hate how it makes me feel.
That said, she could come very close in regular way out at the last second, realizing that Saul's doing this to her, and we get the happy Kim ending where she gets to have her career.
It says so much about the power of this episode that before this episode we were like, yeah, Kim's fine. I mean, she's probably heartbroken, whatever went wrong with Jimmy, but professionally she's fine.
Well,
she's
because
just off doing a thing.
Yeah, up until this point, we were upset because we liked them together, and we thought that despite all his faults, he did genuinely care for Kim, and Kim genuinely cared for him, and we were upset because of the demise of that relationship. But now we're worried that he is going to ruin her life, just because of who he is and what he does.
Right, exactly, and it's something we'd never even considered. But no, I don't think I had. Like I say, it was like, yeah, okay, it'll be a loss to the relationship, and that was sad in itself. But at the end of the day, she would have moved on and had a career, everything else, right?
I'm somewhat maintaining. It's only been one episode, admittedly. I'm maintaining that last week was the moment because he's got the Saul business cards. He's now actively not even trying to be better. He's not even lying to Kim anymore. He's actually just saying, "Yeah, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to."
Do you know? Okay, here's the thing that I will agree. It might be the moment.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that might snap him back, at least temporarily, is if this gets Kim in the shit, he might feel so guilty that he tries to go good again.
Actually, here's a possibility. I could see Kim like being very close to being in the shit, and he throws himself under the bus to save her, and it's still going to be like a heartbreaking goodbye.
The last act of Jimmy.
It's the last act of like genuine kindness that he'll do before he lets her go forever.
Maybe, yeah.
And she'll still probably hate his guts by that point, and that's fine. But I could see that.
I will say.
Because this is the thing, we do still like Saul. Saul has redeeming qualities. He absolutely does. He has more redeeming qualities than Walter did in Breaking Bad, especially this late in the show. Walter was likable up until a point, but then of course, he became who he was. Jimmy has a lot more likable qualities, and I still think we want to like Jimmy. And I feel like we could get the heartbreak, we could get the effect of most of it, but still give him the redemption of, okay, as much as we hate what happened, we can't hate him because he still did the right thing in the end for her. However,
do you know what the moment I'm scared of that might not happen, but it's the moment I'm scared that could happen is when he has an opportunity to save Kim
and chooses
at
not to.
cost to himself. Like he would be, permanently disbarred if he did, and he chooses not to. That's the moment where I'm like, okay, no, that's it. That's Saul.
Yeah, that would be the moment we kind of hate him. He'd still be fun to watch. He'd still be entertaining. But that would colour how, like, if we go on to watch Breaking Bad again after this, that would colour how we think of him that entire show.
Yeah, that's the moment where if to distinguish with Walt, it was there's the moment where for you that's when he became Heisenberg, right? And that's when you hated him. This would be the moment Jimmy truly became Saul, and you hate him now.
Except the difference, I think the difference here though is with Walter, it was about gaining power, it was about showing force. With Saul, it's a lot more pathetic. It's a lot more
survival.
It's a moment of just outright weakness rather than him trying to show strength.
Yeah,
and that's what really separates it. If that's what they do, if that's where this goes, then that's what will separate it.
And I hate that. I can see that being the thing that happens. I can see it.
Everything we've talked about in the last 10 minutes, I can see happening. And
no, I can as well. There's so many potential outcomes here.
But by far, the most hurtful, the one that will absolutely kill us the most, is "You ruined my life" and our career's over. That is the one that will hurt the most.
Yeah. I hate this show. Do you know what? No, I do, because no other show that I've watched in a while has made me feel like this. Like that I'm terrified for a character. Genuinely terrified about what could happen for a character.
No, the character works so strong. And it's funny, we've been saying a lot this season that this has been a quieter season. It's sort of re-establishing things. This was the moment where it felt like, okay, this is what we were building to.
I think
this threat.
So far this is the episode of the season.
Oh, it is. This is my favorite episode of the season, because
it's not the most action packed, but it's the one that makes you feel the most.
But when it gets to the end, it's made its point, and your heart sinks because of the choice she's making and the implications of that. And that is a sign that they have set these characters up so damn well that I know what her saying that means. And again, there's a small smidge of hope that it means something else, but it most definitely doesn't.
It doesn't. No.
But you're clinging to it because you want to believe. But
you've got to have that in the back of your mind. Just maybe Kim can get out of this.
Yeah. There's not a scene in this episode where you don't understand what's going through either Kim or Saul's head. There's not a single one, or at least not for long. Like, obviously, there's a point with Kim towards the end where she's thinking and she's doing stuff, and you're like, why is she buying all this stuff? Why is she getting all this stationery? But as soon as she says it, you immediately get the choice she's making, and that hurts. And so it's super effective. That is why when it gets to the end of the week and we're picking our favorite episode of the week, it's why when we get to the end of the year and we're doing our top 10 shows of the year, it's why Saul always ranks goddamn high, because the writing and the character work, and the direction's great as well, but the writing and the character work is the exceptional part of it. That is what sets it above just about everything else on TV.
But you're right. The direction in this episode, we had the montage at the start, which is a very classic Breaking Bad and Saul thing now.
Yeah,
these montages that they're there. But then even just the smaller shots that I associate with these shows, when we're at the vending machine and the coins are going in, but we're inside the vending machine watching the coins come towards us.
Yeah,
it's like a 3-4 second shot. But that is the style that I associate with these, and it's just such strong direction to get that consistently. Yeah,
there was multiple scenes in this, and they all involve Kim, actually. The moment where the prosecutor referred to Jimmy as the scumbag lawyer who got disbarred that we can't trust, that moment hit me like a ton of bricks because of how it made Kim feel. The moment where Saul gives his plan, let's discredit the cop by making him drunk and doing this and that entire moment. There were several moments in this where I was just like, my heart was just sinking because of what it meant. Because it was the disappointment of, because I think in a lot of ways we are Kim. Kim is our conduit in this show because she, not that we're all lawyers, but in the sense that she is the more normal person. She wants Jimmy to be good. She wants to believe in him. She wants him to succeed, and he's disappointing her.
But at the same time, she kind of accepts him for the scumbag that he is. In the same that we kind of like him being a scumbag.
So when he lets her down, he's letting us down. And it's kind of genius. It's kind of genius that the one real notable new character out of all, because we know Mike, we know Gus, we know Saul from Breaking Bad. The biggest notable new character outside of Chuck, of course, who had his own whole thing, but outside of those characters, Kim is the biggest character in the show. Arguably the second top. She's probably a bigger character in this show than Mike. Arguably more important, perhaps. And
I would say so.
And using her as the audience conduit is a really smart idea because we already care about all the other characters from the other show. If you've watched Breaking Bad, this has made her so important to how we feel about this show. It's exceptional. This is why, bar none, this is the best prequel that's ever been made. I'm saying it now. Nothing else even comes close.
I'm probably not gonna fight you. I don't.
I wouldn't expect you. Yeah, I wouldn't expect you would, because I think even if you can think of other good prequels, where that prequel movie was fine, or it was fun, or whatever, right? I mean, I have problems with prequels in general a lot of the time because I feel like they do a lot of the same kind of traps and tricks.
Honestly, like the closest I can think of for me is Star Wars: The Clone Wars, not the movies, the TV show.
Sure.
I'm not putting the movies up there. Don't worry, but the TV show genuinely did some good stuff.
But not only is this standing kind of on its own, not only is this arguably by the end of it maybe going to outclass the predecessor, it doesn't like. Nothing about this, even if I say this is ultimately going to be more consistent by the end than Breaking Bad, that will not in any way negatively impact Breaking Bad itself.
No, I would say if this sticks the landing, I think this is a better show.
If anything, it'll just make Breaking Bad even better when you watch it again.
Yeah.
So, like this is every time someone makes a prequel and they claim all these things, this is what they're claiming they're going to do. This is the only thing I've ever really seen pull it off, because typically prequels more often than not are about making references to things that you already know about from the first thing, and and you already know where the story's going to end, so it doesn't really matter. But how much did we talk about in this review? How much have we said we are terrified for Kim? How much have we said that?
I think it says a lot that we're a good half hour into this review and we haven't mentioned Mike and Gus and Hector yet.
Oh yeah, we've got that to get to.
Yeah.
So somehow Hector, even though he can only move one finger, is still sexually harassing people. I don't know how that's possible, but he somehow is.
It's goddamn impressive, is what it is.
Knocking over the cup and just eyeing the nurse up. And
I'm like, Hector, you scumbag.
Yeah, but
credit to the acting. That he's just wiggling an eyebrow.
Oh yeah, but you get what he's doing.
And you know exactly what he's doing.
Although to be fair, the camera work is helping him by focusing on her ass and stuff like that, just to make it really clear.
But even before that, like, you know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He just has that look in his eyes.
So you've got the Gus appointed doctor, sort of rehabilitating him, and we see her with Gus later on at his house, and he's making some dinner, and he asks the question, "Is it him?" And you get what he means by that. He's like, sure he's awake, but is he just kind of like in a daze? Is he
just responding, or is his mind there?
Is it him? Like, is this the Hector that I know? And she shows him the footage, and he watches the cup thing, and she's like, oh, it could just be involuntary. He's like, oh, do you think it's not? And Gus just smiles, and he's like, I think your work is done. He's like, no, we could get much further. I could probably train up to speak again and stuff. He's like, no, let's not get our expectations too high. Let's not do that.
He just seems like, he's there. That's good enough for me.
He knows because he obviously just doesn't want him to get better beyond this. The reason why he smiles is because he knows at that point this is the Hector that he knows who will understand what he's putting him through. Whatever Gus is going to do to him, this Hector will understand it and be aware of it, and that's all Gus needs.
He will understand the punishment.
Yes, he will understand who he is. He'll understand who Gus is, and that sly little smile when he's like, he knows who he is. He understands his surroundings. Now he's mine. Because now he can understand why I'm doing it. So that was beautiful. Of course, Mike's stuff. He's working with the Germans, the builders, and we see that they've excavated most of the basement now. They've got a bit of blasting to do. They end up causing a bit of a ruckus. The Kai character.
It's a laundrette. Yeah, we were questioning what exactly it was a few episodes ago, because we remember I went, it's not a laundrette, is it? And we both went, no, that doesn't feel right.
Well, no,
it's too industrial for that.
Well, I think I corrected myself. Say I think it's an industrial laundrette for companies. Like, when it's not it's not like a laundrette where a person just goes and says, hey, can you do my laundry? It's it'll be it'll be like a hotel who sends 500 bed sheets to get done.
But it was so industrial that I questioned whether or not it was a laundrette at all.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. How often do most of us find ourselves in an industrial laundrette?
No, that's just true. I can say I never have.
That said, those dryers and washing machines are big enough for a human to go in and take a ride. I'm just pointing that out.
So are regular ones if you find a small enough human.
They're called children. If you're going to say it, just say children.
I just wanted the dark implication to sit there.
Every so often, I'll find the cat and one of the cats in the dryer. They'll just be lying in there.
Good job you check before you turn it on.
Oh yeah, of course I do. But that's why you check. If you got cats, you always they like it. It's nice and warm. Washing machine, not so much because that typically is damp because it's it's been wet. But the dryer, they like that. It's nice and warm.
I imagine if you put a cat through the dryer, it would come out with all its hair just standing on end.
Most likely.
Just fuzzed up.
Never done it, but Kai's causing some tensions, and they're all a bit stressed because they've been here for a long time, and they know that despite the fact that they might be done in a couple of months, they are only about half done. They know that. They can tell. They know how much work they've got to do, and they know they're behind schedule.
There's a fantastic moment of tension where he backs up the truck and knocks out one of the support pillars, and everyone shits themselves like shit. Just for a moment, they're like, okay, the whole place could collapse.
Yeah.
Like there's that look where everyone is terrified.
Yeah.
And then they get angry because they realize that how much extra work it needs.
Yeah. And they're all stressed, and and we see that Mike's really befriending the German guy, the foreman,
the leader, dude.
Yeah. I think foreman's the correct term in this case.
It probably is. Yeah.
But he's teaching him a little bit of German. Mike's teaching him some more American phrases, and they're kind of bonding a little bit. They seem to be really
having
friendly.
some beer together.
Yeah. And he basically says, yeah, they need some rest and relaxation. It kind of implies they need some, female companionship of some kind.
And Mike's very understanding here, where he's like, look, I get that today wasn't great, and tensions are a bit high, but it's just they're stuck in here. There's only so much they can do, and Mike understands immediately. It's like, yeah, okay, no, I get it. The people. Yeah,
so I don't know how Mike's going to solve this problem, because obviously I don't think they want to have other people coming in, and at that point, if you're going to go with how do we ensure this happens? That at that point you're getting lots of prostitutes to come in, right?
Yeah.
Which maybe that's not the perfect way of doing it. So I'm curious to see how Mike will try and solve this problem, and if there's going to be more issues with Kai.
It's an interesting conundrum.
Yes. So I'm curious, but I mean that stuff was small potatoes versus the Kim and Jimmy stuff.
Oh yeah, that was just here you go. Have a little breather for 10 minutes.
A little bit of plot that we'll come back to this later, and it'll be important. But
good stuff still, but not on the same level.
Oh yeah, Gus's sly little smile when he realised that Hector was back. He's like, "You're right, okay, that's us.
Yeah,
I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready to go to town."
It's a great move.
I love how the first time you see a movie, you see the hand, the finger flick. It's like, oh, the bell. Put a bell under there. He's a bell. Just the bell.
Yeah.
Glorious.
This is such a good episode.
Really good. So that is Better Call Saul, season 4, episode 7. We'll be back next week, of course, with episode 8. So let us know what you thought of this one. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz, and you can get us on patreon.com/mailfuzztv. If you want to support the show, the channel, and everything we do here, keep the reviews coming, you can do that for as little as $1 per month. And that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?